Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tearing down something that literally strikes fear into the hearts of professionals everywhere, but is, absolutely crucial for your career: the elevator pitch. I want you to imagine this scene for a second. You're at a high stakes networking event. The room is loud, the clinking of glasses is constant, and you have exactly 30 seconds to make an impression on someone who could change the trajectory of your entire career. How do you cut through that noise? How do you ensure you aren't just another forgotten handshake? Well, let's break down the anatomy of a truly perfect pitch. So, what actually makes a decision maker lean in? To figure this out, let's look at a very specific scenario. Picture this: Carolina Reyes. She's a confident Latina in her mid 30s, dressed in really polished professional attire. Think a dark blazer, understated jewelry. She has this warm but incredibly focused expression. And she steps up to James Whitfield. James is a guy in his early 50s wearing well dressed business casual. He is the quintessential veteran decision maker. This is a man who has heard 1,000 pitches. He nods politely, sure, but it takes something truly exceptional to capture his genuine interest. What exactly makes a guy like James lean in? Now, notice how Carolina's pitch actually begins before she even opens her mouth. It is all about her nonverbal delivery. Her posture is completely open, her shoulders are back, she's got this slight forward lean that signals she's engaged, and her eye contact is just steady, unwavering. As she initiates the handshake, there's no fumbling around, there are zero filler words, she doesn't hesitate or nervously look around the room, she just claims the space instantly. Right after the handshake, she launches smoothly into her opening line. She says, "Hi, I'm Carolina Reyes. I'm a procurement manager with 8 years of experience in international supply chain and vendor relations." Notice how incredibly crisp that is. She doesn't just give her title, she frames her entire professional identity in one single breath. It sets a polished, professional tone right out of the gate. And this brilliantly sets up her next move, the pivot to her niche. Without breaking that steady eye contact, Carolina says, "I specialize in cost negotiation and supplier consolidation, working mainly with mid-sized manufacturing companies, sourcing across Latin America and Southeast Asia." See what she did there? She isn't just a generic manager anymore. She's an expert with a very specific geographical and functional domain. She's narrowing her focus, making herself memorable. Then she builds massive conversational momentum. She anchors her expertise to real-world outcomes, confidently stating, "The work I do typically reduces procurement costs by 15 to 25% in the first year, by renegotiating contracts that haven't been reviewed in years and eliminating overlapping suppliers." She isn't just giving James a boring list of her daily tasks, she is telling him exactly how she solves expensive problems. And here is the absolute climax of the pitch. She adds, "At my current company, that translated into $340,000 in recovered spend last fiscal year." Okay, pause. Right at this exact moment, as that dollar figure hangs in the air, James's body language shifts. It's subtle, but it's for sure there. His eyebrows go up, there's a small intake of breath, and he executes this barely perceptible lean forward. This is the confirmation that the pitch has landed perfectly. No theatrical gasps, just a real decision maker's controlled transition from polite attention to genuine business interest. Carolina absolutely senses this, and she smoothly moves to the close. "I'm looking for a senior operations role where that kind of cost discipline would have real impact at scale. I'd love to hear what your organization is working on." Her tone here is slightly warmer, She finishes with a natural, unhurried pause, holding that eye contact. It's an inviting call to action that hands the conversation right over to James. Okay, let's dive into this and reverse engineer that success by looking at the 4-step formula. So Carolina just delivered a complete masterclass in exactly 114 words. It didn't feel rehearsed at all, it just felt natural. But underneath her delivery is a very deliberate structure. Here is the simple, actionable 4-step framework she used. Step 1, who you are, your name and role. Step 2, your specialty or niche. Step 3, the value you deliver. And finally, step 4, your goal or ask. If you miss any of these, the pitch kind of falls flat. If you ramble, you lose them. This structure keeps you on point. Now, I really want to point out that the absolutely crucial element here is step 3, the value delivered. This is honestly where most people fail. They give a laundry list of their daily responsibilities. But Carolina didn't do that. She focused on the tangible impact. Highlighting concrete results and financial impact completely changes how you are perceived. You instantly go from being just another employee to being an asset.
Moving on to polished English versus Spanglish traps, because phrasing matters just as much as structure. For bilingual professionals, strong structural content has to be paired with natural phrasing to avoid those common translation traps that hold so many talented people back. Look at this comparison. On the left, we have a classic literal translation trap. I am responsible of. It's clunky, it's passive. Now look at the right side. Carolina used the phrase, I specialize in. This is strong. It frames you as an expert who owns their domain, rather than someone who was simply handed a task list. This brings us to some essential pitch vocabulary. Things like, I specialize in, I've been working in X for Y years, I help this audience achieve this result, or I'm currently leading. Using these exact expressions immediately helps you sound natural and confident. They basically eliminate the hesitation of trying to invent the perfect English sentence on the spot.
So, crafting your professional identity, let's bring this all together. Crafting your identity is really the synthesis of that airtight 4-step formula, the right vocabulary, and confident body language. And keep in mind, an effective pitch has got to be concise. The gold standard is a target length of 30 to 45 seconds. That translates to roughly 60 to 90 words. Now, Carolina's was just a tiny bit over that at 114 words, but because she packed it with hard data and literally zero filler, it worked flawlessly. But 60 to 90 words is a great baseline for maximum impact. Keep it tight. Which brings us to the most important part of this explainer. It's time to put this into practice. If you ran into your industry's version of James Woodfield today, what would you say? Using the 4-step formula, what is your personal 60 to 90 word elevator pitch? Draft it out, practice it until it's seamless, and get ready to make them lean in. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.